This entire outfit is made using beginner sewing patterns, but it doesn't look beginner at all. Let me show you how I turned these basic beginner level sewing patterns into a really wearable, comfy outfit for springtime. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well today. Today's video is going to be a sewing video and I'm so excited because I have not sewn anything again for quite some time, so I really need to get on with my spring sewing. I have been really inspired for spring and summer sewing. I've been saving things over on Pinterest. As you'll know if you're a regular here, I do use Pinterest quite a lot for inspiration. I really want my spring and probably summer as well outfits to be really easy and really comfortable. And as always, I want the things that I sew for my spring and summer wardrobe to be able to easily pair together and to be able to pair well with other things that I already have in my wardrobe. That is key to me. So I'm always making sure when I do save things over on Pinterest that the kind of things I'm saving are the kind of things that I know I can easily style based on my own lifestyle and based on what I do tend to reach for and want to wear day to day. So the outfit that I really want to sew today is a pair of comfy cream elasticated waist wide leg linen trousers, and I also, if I have time, want to sew a nice red and white stripy top that I can wear with those linen trousers. I want the top to be really boxy and oversized because I do like an oversized style, and I'd quite like it to be a little bit cropped as well. And to achieve this look, I'm going to be using two basic beginner friendly sewing patterns. And if you are a beginner, I really hope that this inspires you that you can sew really on trend flattering outfits with just very easy sewing patterns. So the two patterns that I'm going to be using today are, surprise surprise, the Tyra trousers by Plow & Patterns. They are nice and wide leg. They include some pockets that attach into the waistband. The waist on the pattern is just elasticated all the way around, but what I'm going to do today is actually just adapt the waistband slightly to make it a drawstring waistband, and I'll show you how I'm going to be doing that too. The second pattern that I'm going to be using today is the Megan Nielsen Jarrah pattern. So essentially this is a pattern for a sweatshirt, but I absolutely love to use this pattern as a boxy style t-shirt. And because this is a drop shoulder sewing pattern, it's really easy to do that just by taking the sleeves off. And because I want this to be quite a boxy cropped t-shirt, I'm going to leave off the waistband as well, or the hemband. So really, in putting this t-shirt together, there is not a lot of sewing to do. So the fabrics that I'm going to be using today are this beautiful, very, very frayed slub linen fabric, which I picked up from the Knitting and Stitching show a little while ago. So this is a bit of a sort of a melange texture, I think you call it, and it's more of an off-white colour. So these should be nice and cool, floaty and drapey for the summertime. And then for my t-shirt, I've got this stripy red cotton jersey. I should have plenty here for a nice little cropped boxy t-shirt. So I have a lot of sewing to get through today. It is currently coming up to 10:30. I would really love to get all of this sewing done in one day if I can. So without any further ado or chit chat, let's get into the cutting out first of all, shall we? Trousers are cut and it's on to the top. To give myself the best chance of stripe matching, I'm going to cut what is normally cut on the fold with the Jarrah pattern flat. Sometimes when you cut on the fold, you don't realise that your stripes are off. It's really easy to do. You just lay your pattern piece flat onto the fabric, mark the centre point of the neckband, and once you've cut one side of the fabric, you then flip the pattern and then cut the next side. I'm also making sure on both the front and back pieces that I'm starting the hemline at the same point on the stripes, and that should hopefully give me the best chance of matching the stripes when I come to sew up the side seams. Okay, we are all cut out. So if like me you are going to be adding a drawstring or changing your trousers to be drawstring waist rather than just elasticated, don't forget that you need to cut a drawstring piece. So I literally went along the very last piece of my fabric, folded in half and cut myself around a 2-inch wide strip. So when you're cutting your drawstring piece, you just need to make sure that it will go around your waist and that you'll have enough sort of extra to be able to tie a bow. With the t-shirt pattern, something I like to do with stripy fabrics is to cut the neckband in the opposite direction of the stripes. If you do want to do that, you are flipping the grain line essentially. So you just need to make sure that your fabric has enough stretch so that it's still going to be able to go around your neck or the neckband area. If you feel like your fabric doesn't have as much stretch in the opposite direction, you might just need to add a little bit of length. So it's about 20 past 11 now. That cutting out took me about 45 minutes. I need to get sewing. I'm really excited to see how these are going to come together. At the stage now where I have 2 legs, so I've sewn each front leg piece to each back leg piece, and I've turned one the right side out and I've left one inside out. So now I need to pop one leg inside the other and match up the crotch seam and just sew that, and then I will have what is beginning to look like a pair of trousers. We're now sewing up to the waistband. I always find these trousers hilarious at this point because they just look like huge clown trousers, but we have to trust the process and the fact that the elasticated waistband is going to bring everything in nicely. So the next thing I'm going to do is sew my drawstring piece because I find that piece quite annoying and I want to get it out of the way before I do my waistband. Another reason for doing the drawstring at this point is so that I can measure how wide the actual drawstring pulley piece is going to be, so that I know how wide or how high to make my buttonholes for the drawstring waistband. So if you are a beginner, there are a few different ways that you can sew a drawstring. You can sew it all in one long length and then turn it through, or you can press the raw edges to the inside, press again and then just sew down the long length. I think what I'm going to do today is just sew and attempt to pull this through to the other side. That will be the quickest option and I will have less chance of burning my fingers. But you could do it either way really. So let's get this sewn and then we'll have a look at the waistband and I'll show you how to change the waistband to a drawstring. Drawstring piece, I pulled it through with a safety pin and now I've just pressed it flat. I'm not too precious about how neat this is because half of this, or most of it even, will be hidden inside the waistband and then it's going to be tied at the front. So I just make it as neat as I can, but I'm not too fussy about it. So because we're going to be sewing a drawstring waistband, we need to have an opening for the drawstring pieces, the drawstring ties to come out of so that they can be tied in a bow. So the way that we sort of modify the pattern piece to do that is just to fold the waistband in half. So this end is my join, my back seam, and I'm just going to mark the centre front point with a pin. So now I'm just matching up my centre front point with my centre back seam. So what we need to work out is where we want our buttonholes to be, and I want them to be in the centre of this waistband. And I'm going to run a drawstring channel along the waistband piece so that I can pull my drawstring through easily. I am still going to elasticate the waistband as well because I've found in the past that that just gives a better fit. The drawstring really is just for decoration. So we need to remember here that we do have a 1 centimetre seam allowance. It's going to be sewn when we join the waistband to the trousers. So I'm marking that point with my erasable fabric pen, and then I'm going to see how much waistband is left. So that gives me about 1.5 centimetres from the top of the fold, 1.5 centimetres for the buttonholes, and then I've got about 1.5 centimetres before I then meet the centimetre seam allowance. So I'm just going to mark with my fabric marker again the position of the buttonholes, and I want them to be so that they just fall either side of the centre front. And then just to reinforce where the buttonholes are going to be, I'm going to cut a small scrap of interfacing. And then I just need to sew 2 buttonholes here where I've marked and cut them open. Make sure you're sewing your buttonholes obviously just on the front side of your waistband and not all the way through both sides of the fabric. I am so happy with how these are looking, but they're definitely a little bit too long. For some reason, I decided to leave the length on these trousers. I normally always shorten them to 1 inch shorter than the pattern comes up, but this time I decided to leave the length on. I don't know why, but I definitely need to take a bit off. So I'm going to cut off the inch that I left on, and then I'm going to turn up about 1 inch hem. Because this fabric is quite light, I think I'm just going to overlock the leg and then turn the hem straight up. Well, I am very pleased with how they turned out. I think they're going to be so comfortable for summertime. They feel really light and very soft. So I'm going to put those to one side for now and get started on the t-shirt. The first thing we need to do with the Jarrah sweatshirt is just sew the shoulder seams together. Always tack my neckbands in place before overlocking them, and I always find that it's great to just be able to check that your neckband is sitting flat before you commit to overlocking. The neckband was looking really puckery, so I decided to unpick it and have another go. I think I'm going to cut another neckband just slightly bigger because I think it's puckering because my neckband piece is too small. If you do need to undo a neckband like this, just be really careful not to stretch out the neckline while you're unpicking. When I was out on the school run, I realised that I had a white jersey ribbon in my stash, and I wondered if that would work better than trying to fit the cotton jersey into this neckband. This fabric has a little bit more stretch than the cotton jersey, so I hope it might sit a bit more nicely. Much better. I love how that's looking now. So I'm gonna, first of all, before I do my twin needling, I'm actually just going to overlock the armholes. So with this sort of boxy top, there isn't a sleeve as such, obviously because we've taken the sleeve out. So what we're going to be doing is just turning under the sort of cap sleeve and then stitching it in place. And then I'm going to baste the side seams together so that I can try and stripe match the best that I can. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's hope the overlocker doesn't mess it up now. Overlocking all done, and I'm pressing the seams to the back, and now I'm turning under about 1 centimetre all around the cap sleeve so that I can twin needle in place. Done the twin needling on the neckline, and I've also done it on the sleeves as well, on the cap sleeves, or the armholes, shall we say. So what I'm going to do now is just try these on with those trousers and just see how much of a hem I want to take up. I want to take quite a wide hem because I do feel like that helps for the boxiness of a boxy t-shirt. It just gives it a little bit more structure around the bottom. So I'm going to try this on and just see how much length I have to play with. I decided to turn up an inch of hem in the end. I actually prefer the look of the top slightly tucked into the trousers. The trousers are quite high and I would have had to have taken the top up quite a lot. So I think turning up just an inch will give me the option then of whether to have it tucked in slightly or just left untucked and boxy. So here is the finished look and I am so pleased with how this turned out. And so I really hope that helps you to see that you don't need advanced sewing skills to be able to create really wearable outfits. Often you just need to focus on the silhouette of a pattern and choosing really good fabric. While I was trying this on, I decided to try and style both of these pieces in different ways. And I actually really loved how both of these items worked so well with other things that I already have in my wardrobe. Patterns really are just a starting point when it comes to choosing what to sew. Even though I've been sewing for quite a few years now, I still return to these patterns time and again, and that is just because I love the simple style and the silhouette of them. And I know how well they work in lots of different fabrics in many different ways just by tweaking and changing them slightly. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more sewing and craft inspiration. Thanks again for spending another sewing day with me and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.